Well, it's October 29th, the week of Halloween. Lots and lots to talk about today. Before we dig in, as you know, I'm Dawn Watson, and this is Right Now on the East End. Today I'm here with a good friend and wonderfully creative person, someone I wish I could collaborate with instead of just interview, but that's how it goes. So I'm here today with Kate Mueth, who is the director of the Neo-Political Cowgirls. And thank you so much for coming today, Kate.
I am so thrilled to be here. I love that you have this new adventure, and let's collaborate on something.
I know, exactly. You're the one who way back in the day said, you have to do a podcast. And of course, I'm too lazy and didn't do it. But now we're kind of in the same
Here
boat
we
again.
are. Sometimes it just takes a little while, the right time.
Exactly. So I usually start the show and talk about the news of the week and how it's affecting us here locally. But since we're kind of in this, it's Halloween, which is the least scary thing probably about this week ever. Which is right. So it's Halloween, and we have elections next week and pre-voting this week, which I know. Did you vote? I say this every time. Vote.
Not yet. I will do early voting, but I haven't gotten there yet. I'm just trying to wait out the rain a little.
Yeah. I like going in the rain because then I always have an excuse if my hair looks bad.
Oh, that's good.
So they're like, oh, it's raining.
It's raining. It's the rain.
It's raining.
Yeah.
No, your hair looks good.
Really?
Yeah, I like it.
Oh my God, COVID hair. I call it my crazy COVID cave woman look.
I like it. It's like strawberry blonde and very pretty.
Trying to slowly get it back to my red hair because, we dyed it for Romeo and Juliet, went blonde. I thought midlife crisis, perfect time to do something weird.
Different,
Go from an auburn-haired person to a blonde. And now I don't, again, we're talking about our colorist, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I'll recognize her when I go back to see her.
I feel like mine might not want to recognize me when I go back.
She's like, no, I can't help you.
Have you been telling people that you go to me? Anyway, well, speaking of COVID, I want to talk just very briefly about this because I know that I opened up the newspapers today and we are really bracing for another wave, which is a drag because it's getting colder. Schools are quarantining and closing left and right out here. Yeah. So now, August, your son is in college. Is he staying at home or is he's there?
He's there in Boston, Emerson College. It's right in the city. It's right on the Commons. And I'm so proud of that school. They have had very tight protocols.
Good.
And the numbers are virtually non-existent there, not in Boston, but at the school.
Right.
And thankfully, August, he's in a suite, but he's got his own room. For now, now next semester he's supposed to be an RA, but he comes home at Thanksgiving, and then he stays home for online classes all the way through Christmas break.
Okay, well that's smart.
Yeah, I think we're expecting this second wave. It was like early on they were saying, "Be ready, there's going to be a second wave," so it's not surprising.
No.
What's surprising is just sometimes to see people's reaction.
Yeah, and then it's lingering still. I mean, I feel like almost like an ocean wave. Like it hit us, and now it's moving across the country. I feel it's funny because I think in some way, and I want to talk about you, but I feel in some way like I was so panicked initially when this happened, and I'm still very vigilant. I'm always wearing my mask. I'm always washing my hands. When I do touch my face, it's with the back of my hand. But I feel like, having lived through what we have lived through, I'm hoping that the wave doesn't come back this way. But I think that I love it when I go to the store and I see everyone's wearing a mask. I love it when people aren't close. It's
sexy when people take care of each other, right?
That's true.
I went to a Guildhall thing this summer. We stayed mostly home, did a few things, seeing people very carefully, conscientiously, socially distanced in little pods, everybody masked up. And I looked at that and I'm like, here we are all together experiencing fantastic art, theater, music, whatever it was I saw. And everyone's taking care of themselves and taking care of each other.
Yeah.
When I see someone put their mask on because they see me coming or, I'm like, thank you. Because when I do that, it's to protect you.
Yeah.
And
I do that when I'm at a restaurant too. Like because I've been doing some outside dining, of course, outside dining. But whenever I see the server coming up, I always do this. And it's very funny because most people say, oh, it's okay, I have a mask on. I'm like, no, I was a server. I waitressed and bartended my way through college. And the double barrier makes a difference. And so I try to always be even if I'm like mid-fork, I put it down. And Because you just don't, God forbid if anybody ever got sick because of me, or if I got sick because of anyone else, I wouldn't be happy. But anyway,
it's about humans. We're building resiliency, and it's a very Darwinian kind of thing, to be honest. It's like you adapt or you die.
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting to watch and remarkable to see people of all ages who are valiantly adapting and being resilient.
Yeah.
And it's just the reality we're in. It's not a political thing, and it is about us as a species taking care of each other.
Facts.
Science, facts, things like that.
Yeah.
And we all have a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And we could all do better by being a little more curious and educating ourselves, I think.
Well, speaking about science and facts and educating, we also have to talk about educating as a good stepping off point, and the arts, because they are just as important. I mean, obviously science is the most important thing right now, but the arts are important for our souls, are important for us to be able to kind of get through some of the things that we have to worry about science for. So I want to talk to you because you have not one but two huge things happening like this weekend.
Yeah, like right now.
Yeah, like right now. And then you have other things ongoing. So I want to talk, first of all, since you mentioned Guildhall, let's talk about that show first. So can you give me a little, and obviously our audience who will be tuning in because it's this weekend. So let us know what's going on with you at Guildhall.
Yeah, and just to piggyback that great comment you just had is that the arts go hand in hand with science. Like the arts invigorate the imagination and the thinking process and the relating to what you're seeing and being able to respond. So it actually opens up your mind for science, and I find it goes very much hand in hand in that way. It practices our brain, warms our brain up for listening and being curious and looking deeper.
Mind blown.
So Guildhall, it's gosh, I don't even know exactly what we're calling this because
hold on, I have the title right here.
Please give me the title.
Yeah, because I was like, I better know what this. It says Stage Fright. October 30th to November 1st. Spine-chilling tales performed live in the moonlight of our backyard theater.
Yeah, Stage Fright. I should know that because Josh came up with that, and I thought it was a pretty great title.
That is a great title because that's like. That's funny. It's arts. It's the time. It's
play on words.
And there's an outdoor stage, I'm assuming.
Yeah, there's an outdoor. It's a very pocket little kind of theater.
I love that courtyard. I'm assuming that's where you're doing it.
It's not in the courtyard. It's on the other side between the building, the backstage door, and the parking lot.
Oh, perfect.
Because in the courtyard, the cars going by get reverberated. The sound.
Right.
The sound is kind of bad there.
Okay.
So there's this little cute stage that was built and used all summer. There are, I don't know exactly how many, 20 maybe circles or squares, little pods we call them, for two people.
Pod is going to be like the word of the year, by the way.
Pod and pivot.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, 2 people per pod kind of thing. Socially distanced 6 feet apart. You're outside, and it's going to be Hunter's Moon. It's going to be this remarkable moon.
Wow.
Now, it was supposed to be starting tonight.
Right, but the rain.
The rain. Outdoor theater is why we love it.
Yeah.
So that now it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And who knows? Tomorrow's the rain's supposed to stop in the afternoon, so we should be good tomorrow night. We'll be good on Saturday. We'll see what Sunday brings. Who knows? But it's creepy. It's just creepy. I want to say it's not for tiny children. I would say maybe 11 or 12 and up. It's not that long. It's maybe just an hour 10. And it's for good ghost stories, but not really ghostly as much as just creepy, kind of gnarly, nasty little tales.
Now, are you going to be acting or are you going to be reading?
It's reading.
Okay.
There's a tiny bit of movement that I've devised for the piece, for the actors. There's amazing lighting by Sebastian Pachinski. And
always amazing lighting by Sebastian.
Some images thrown up by Joe Brondo. Projections is the word I was looking for. And sound by David Brandenburg. Two of my company members are joining Josh and I in these readings, Trevor Vaughn and Vanessa Walters.
Oh, well, Trevor has a connection to here because Morgan.
No,
is
Trevor Vaughn. This is different. That's Tristan.
That's
You're
Tristan.
thinking
Oh,
of
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
thinking,
Trevor Vaughn.
I don't know Trevor Vaughn.
No, you may have seen him he's been in quite a few of my shows.
Maybe have I seen him in something and I didn't know? Like, was he in Zima or was he in?
He's
what's that
been in
caveman-y thing that I saw for years ago?
the caveman.
You know what I'm talking about? The creator. Oh. hey, I've seen a lot of shows.
I love.
Don't tell Josh I called him the caveman.
I love it though. I love it. He was not in E, but Vanessa was. They're a couple,
Okay.
And that's the show that we took off Broadway. So
Okay.
he has been. I directed him in Irma Vep at Mulford.
Oh, I was there
Farm.
at that. That was amazing.
He's one of the most talented actors.
So he's one of the
I've
two
ever worked
people
with.
who performed that show.
Yeah.
And that was a really, really, really good show. I remember.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Those two guys, Isaac Klein, Trevor Vaughn, who are good friends in real life anyways. But it was side-splittingly fun to work with them.
Yeah.
It was really great to direct them. And I think, and Trevor's a wonderful singer too. He's a frontman of a band called Reserved for Rondi, which has Billy Magnuson in it. He's a Hollywood guy.
The name sounds familiar, but
Yeah,
I can't put his face in my head. Just FYI, we have a few technical difficulties, and I want to stop you. But the table, just be aware. It's eerie.
I didn't do it. It's like it's just doing that.
It's just doing that.
It's like a Ouija board.
So anyway, you were saying, I'm sorry. So you're talking about Trevor Vaughn, and you're talking about Trevor's partner,
Vanessa Walters,
Vanessa,
who's
okay.
a choreographer. She does a lot of work in my company. Both of them were in Hysteria at Guildhall and in Boston that we did last year. I feel like we conjured the plague with that one.
I feel like I did by watching The Walking Dead. Every time I would say, "Oh, The Walking Dead," this is like what could happen if we're like, "Oh no."
Oh no! Yeah, keep opening that door, Watson.
Jeez,
Good
way
job.
to go.
Well done. Josh is also
Josh
to blame
is in
for
it,
that.
yeah.
Because
he
was a Walking Dead fan as well.
And he's also in this show.
Yeah,
in this
yeah.
reading.
It's a reading.
Yeah.
It's creepy. It's got some fun staging, and it's just fun to be outside.
Yeah.
Under a big moon.
A harvest moon.
Hunter's moon.
Darn it.
Yeah,
I'm just making mistakes left and right today, but that's okay.
It's raining.
It's raining.
So,
and it's
of
entertaining
course.
to see people, make slight errors or gaffes and then just move on.
Yeah, well, you're a human being.
We're human.
It's nice to know that Don Watson's human, because no one would ever think that otherwise.
And I make mistakes too. Anyway, so anybody else in the cast that we need to discuss on that? Because otherwise I want to move on to the other thing you're doing this weekend.
No, and that other thing is Halloween story time from America's Women.
I'm fact-checking you on this, by the way.
Yeah, because
Let's
I
see.
lose my title.
Halloween
names.
story time from America's Women. Yes.
I got it?
Yeah, you did. And I saw your video on it today. I was going to run the video at the end of the show, but I figured I got you here live, so we might as well just do it
You
here.
really don't need Kate Mueth anymore.
Oh, I love Kate Mueth, but you can talk about it here because
I'm here.
because you're here. So tell me about what's happening with that, and where we can see it and all that stuff.
Well, it's an audio, so it's a storytelling. So you just listen to it. So you can be walking around your house.
Do we go to NPC.org?
You can go to npcowgirls.org.
Okay, thank you. Say that one more time.
npcowgirls.org.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and you'll see the link at the landing page to take you to the ticket site, and it's a donation of $5,000 to $5,000.
Exactly.
$5
million
dollars for you today. It is a collection of short stories, which was really fun to do, because after a summer of making so many videos with women like all over the world.
Yeah, you've done a ton of really amazing things too.
Oh, thank you.
A ton.
Yeah, that's very nice of you to say. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And it's there's a different kind of difficulty to making it happen in Zoom internet land than in reality land. It's challenging. And the shooting a video of yourself as an actor.
Shooting a video of yourself as anyone over the age of, let's say, 14
That's not a
challenging.
TikTok.
Exactly. And I'm like, stand on the ladder. Can I get a longer selfie stick? I look great from up here.
Yeah, lower the chin.
Yeah, exactly.
But so it's very freeing to not have to be, to just be able to listen to the voice and work with the voice and have the recording that way. And also for me, and this is what I've always all summer said to my actresses who were, literally these are women who were, one of them had just moved back to the Dominican Republic, Laura Gomez, from Orange is the New Black. Kathy Curtin was going back and forth to LA under very tight protocols to shoot for Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the crazy schedules doing this and so just present and committed. Dogs barking, kids running, whatever. But
that adds to the ambiance.
But see, that's the way I feel. I feel in COVID, we all deserve a break.
Yeah.
We all deserve to be a little kinder to everybody, including ourselves. And so for me, I feel when I see my actresses just showing up the way they're showing up.
Yeah.
Without all the hoo-ha, without all the makeup, without all the whatever. Like, that's empowering.
Yeah.
The rawness of that. So that we're focusing on what we're hearing and we're seeing a human being, right?
Yeah.
That we're talking about.
It's funny, and not to interrupt you, I'm so sorry.
No,
but
not at all.
what I have found during this whole time is when we get to experience art, or even when we get to experience like our coworkers on Zoom, whatever, I feel like something has changed that we're never going to go back to, because I feel like everything is so much more immediate and personal. And so we see what people's houses look like. So we see what people look like when they try to do their own hair and makeup.
When it's raining.
Exactly. When it's raining. We see the humanity of the humans whom we might have had some sort of, girl crush, idol worship thing going on with. And for me, I love them more for it. I love them more when I can see people behind the mask with the mask off, with just their regular selves. That's so much more appealing.
Me too.
To me. Anyway,
I feel like I trust them more. I feel like I'm more immediately, like you said, immediate. But like here, okay, we don't have any of these masks going on.
Right.
We are right here communicating.
And you can't lean on this crutch also of the hair and makeup.
That's right.
Which is for some, I used to say, I won't say the actor, the man, but I used to say, oh, he acts with his hair.
I totally get that, though. I understand
was like,
what
from
you're
roll to
saying.
roll. Yeah, the hair. Oh, wait, that's all he's doing. He's acting with his hair. Same guy, different hair.
But what that
Anyway.
does too is it starts inducing fear in us. If we are just relying on these particular things, we're so concerned about these particular things that we're not dropped in, that we're not coming from an authentic place, and that's when fear starts kicking in about ourselves. And
You're more worried about how I'm projecting than you are maybe inhabiting the character.
Or just yourself.
Or yourself.
Inhabit yourself, sister. Right?
True. Yeah, very true.
Root your coccyx down into that
Exactly.
chair,
really.
breathe, and just tell us what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Like, who are you and what's happening and what do you care about? And that's sort of what these stories are a little bit. Like, we didn't like over or even really produce them. We let them, do them themselves. We didn't nitpick because I just wanted them to talk about whatever they want to talk about. I didn't curate it in a way of like, oh, tell me what your topic is, or record it, and then I'll decide.
You tell me about the demon lover, and then you tell me about what was in the closet, and then you tell me about the car accident, whatever.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly. I just let them send it. I picked a handful of particular women that said yes and could do it and wanted to take part, and I said it can be tongue in cheek. It can be funny. It can be just utterly true. And it's, most of them are they're all true. A couple of them are a little figurative rather than literal.
Okay.
But they're all true. And it's interesting to see where a couple of them overlapped. It's interesting to hear how a few of them really dig down into some of the more deep problems that we have as women, in being like what we're told, as children being believed in what we're saying versus not being believed in what we're saying, in being safe, in saying yes when we don't mean yes, or allowing for things to happen because we don't feel we have the power, or we're afraid that we're going to be harmed. There's a lot there, and whether it's our health care, whether it's how we're treated in our healthcare,
Right.
our fears, things enacted upon us, choices, right? So
This is a
I
whole
loved
other
it.
kind of scary. I mean,
That's what I
right?
mean. Yeah, this is what makes, I think, it pretty special is these women are so brave in writing and telling their stories and saying in their own voice, whatever that is, the imperfections, talking too fast, talking too slow, whatever it is, and they're being fully there. And for me, this is about the more that we illuminate women's stories, the more we're coming out of the shadows of all the things that pile up.
Solidarity, sister.
Yeah.
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 And I'm not, it's very easy to see the things in the streets that are very problematic. Domestic violence, rape, all of these things that we know are right there. They're bad, right?
Right.
But what are we going to do about it?
Right.
And until people start understanding and back off from some of the judgment of like why women stay in abusive relationships or what she was wearing was highly problematic, like until we understand that women have a sovereign voice as individuals and have a right to safety and to say no and to not be pressured or coerced at the age of 17 to sleep with your guitar teacher, whatever it might be, that
Is this one of the stories? Okay, interesting. Okay.
yeah.
Oh, by the way, I know that you said this on the video clip that I saw, which we're not running, but we're talking about live. The stories for this are definitely not for children.
Not for children.
They're definitely a mature adult conversation.
Absolutely. And even for some adults, they won't like it.
Right. Oh, I think you said something in the thing like, if you're a pearl clutcher, you don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I say
actually
that
appreciate
with
that.
tongue in cheek but a little,
Right.
side eye, but
Yeah.
also with respect, because some people can't stomach it. And some of it is legitimately for particular victims of these kinds of things. It's triggering.
Yeah.
And I understand that. I also believe that when we are willing, people can go like, oh, I don't want to be hearing these stories. Well, you know what? You need to hear these stories
Right.
because if you're reacting in that way or having that, then there actually is a red flag that you need to step into those stories because there's something to be gleaned and there's information there to understand just as fellow humans.
Yeah. I read
this is happening.
Gosh, I'm sorry, I'm so excited. But
No, it's good.
I read a study. This is several months ago, earlier this year, and it was talking about the basic types of people. And I'm not going to get into who the people are, but basically, there was one type of person who sees something upsetting, whether it's a mangy dog in the street or someone who's been beaten up or something, and they just say, "Ew, gross," and they turn away. And there's another type of person, and these are very big generalities, of course, but there's another type of person who sees this and just like feels like sick and wants to cry. And basically, if we can get to the place where if we can look at something that's upsetting and not say, "Ew, sick, gross," then we have the opportunity to feel empathy. And then we have the opportunity to affect change instead of saying, "That's disgusting. I don't want to look at that," because that doesn't help. Right. I understand that feeling of scaredness, but it's what you do with that. I think
Absolutely. You just nailed it. I mean, we call that in our teaching artistry, we call that the stoplight. When you go into a room or when you're in the world or you're in your relationships, like you have red light, yellow light, green light, or green.
I think it's red on top. I don't know.
I don't drive very much anymore. But, the red light is you're that strong reaction, or if you're in a group of people, you're going through your histrionics and sucking the air out of the room. It's all about you, and you're not even paying attention to like, oh, why am I talking? And there's other people in the room. Right. The green light is when you're just kind of sitting back going, oh, whatever. Let everyone else step up to the plate. Let everybody else, I'm just going to sit back and I'm tired, whatever. But the yellow light, the yellow zone of risk is where we want to be. We want to be alert. We want to be awake. We want to listen. We want to take part. We want to kind of step out of our comfort zone and exactly what you said, affect change, contribute to the conversation.
Yeah.
So
be aware of others.
Be aware of others. Listen, it's not. You see so much now, people just reacting to other people.
We have a lot of red and green lights.
Yeah. And we need more yellow lights. And it does require, like in a pandemic, to respond and to think, how am I going to respond? How am I going to help this situation. These are true stories. These are true experiences and viewpoints from these women. Where's my part and how can I help? Is there some woman right next to me, a sister, a mother, a grandmother? Is there someone I can turn to just let them know I'm here for them, or to listen to their story? I would love if this piece was able to encourage other people to tell their story. That's hard to tell, because when we do that, we take away the shadows for ourselves and for the outcomes of those situations that we're in that need to change. In Poland, I don't know if you're noticing what's happening in Poland, but we've got, they took, this was a few months ago, but now they've banned abortion, but they, before this, were submitting into the parliament to take away their protection for women who are victims of domestic violence.
Oh dear.
So the conversations have to happen, because we can't just point and say, oh, that's over there.
Or we can't just think that we're alone.
Right.
Or we can't just think that this is an anomaly or a one-person outlier. This is a shared community who, if you're talking about domestic violence or if you're talking about violence against women, there are so many more people who are in the shadows. Who we might not even be aware of. We might ourselves be in the shadows. So
most of us are.
Raise. I always say, and I've said this a million times on the show, and I say this in life because it's kind of a mantra: a rising tide lifts all boats, and we should be that tide for one another.
Yeah. And it requires us to do better. It requires us to use better conversations when we speak to people, even if those people have a completely different viewpoint.
Right.
Doesn't mean we accept things. I'm not suggesting that, because there's things that we should not tolerate. Right. But we do have to raise the conversation and the way we debate and the way we converse.
And listen.
And step up. And do what maybe isn't the most convenient or comfortable, but to step up. We have to take action. I mean, I was thinking about this today because I'm seeing there are so many people deeply depressed with the COVID, the change of their life, losing jobs, losing finances, losing
security.
losing people, losing friends and loved ones. And I know this might sound kind of Pollyanna, but it's really fundamentally, if one is able to reach out to somebody else, give to somebody else, that's one of the most fundamental acts you can do for yourself to come out of depression. So volunteering time and energy, make a phone call, write a card to somebody.
Reach out and touch someone.
Tell Dawn Watson she looks beautiful to stop, feeling
so
weird
sweet.
about her hair with
my
rain.
hair. Okay, so for the Neo-Political Cowgirls show, the radio or the spoken audio. Thank you.
Short stories.
So we go online, we sign up.
npcowgirls.org. You can throw down $5. All proceeds go to benefit the work we do right here in our community. We're still doing lots of work in our community.
I'm so glad to see that and hear that.
And thank you for helping to spread the word.
My pleasure. And I wish we could talk more, but I know that Jason is telling us we're done.
Get the hook.
Thank you, Kate.
What
a wonderful
Dawn.
time.
You're so beautiful. Thank you. Please stay safe.
I got you, baby. Thank you.
Right.
That's it for Right Now on the East End with Dawn Watson. I'll see you next week.